Hi, we wanted to welcome you to our webcast this morning on Autodesk and switching to those industry collections. My name is Janine Henry. I'm an account manager here at KETIV, and I have Jorge Fernandez here, compadre, who's one of our application engineers on our team. So today we're going to go through a brief outline, kind of starting off in terms of a timeline, how our licensing is related and subscriptions moving forward. We'll talk about the benefits of the subscriptions and the industry collections that we are now offering. And more importantly, we'll talk to you about how you can switch your subscriptions to take advantage of the industry collections. Your eligibility for that switch, the cost, many times there is no cost for that, as well as the benefits of the new products that you will be gained. So if you take a look back, we want to look at some of the changes that were made over the last several months and take you to where we are today. Many of you currently have a perpetual license that you own. You also probably have some of the new term licensing that's being offered. You may recall that the ability to purchase those new licenses with the maintenance, that ended back in July of this year. Shortly after that, though, Autodesk did introduce the subscription model, which we're talking about today. Those were done in individual products as well as the design and the creation suites. Today and moving forward, now we're offering, or Autodesk is offering, a simplified offering, and it's providing collections to its customers. There's two types of those collections. We're going to go through those with you again. One is the product design collection, and the other one is the AEC collections. Again, a set of tools for industry specifics. And Jorge will go ahead and review some of those added benefits in terms of tools and products in those. So why did we make the move to the subscription or the term licensing, and really what's the benefit to you? One of the major benefits is the greater value. There's a wide range of tools in one package, and it's now at a lower price point. So it's very competitive. There's a lot of flexibility in terms of the lengths. It ranges from monthly to quarterly, really, and annually. Also the 3-year terms. This offers you the ability to do scalability in terms of the licensing for simplifying your needs. And more importantly, at the end here, you're going to be able to now have one collection per industry. So there's no longer wondering, am I in the suite here? Do I need to upgrade to the ultimate? Do I just need the standard? Do I just need an individual product? It's now all of it is included.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about what's included. Again, we're going to go through a couple examples, whether it gets your manufacturing or your AEC watching this. So the first thing to mention is there's only one product design collection for manufacturing. There's no standard, ultimate, premium, trying to wonder where you're going to be at exactly. Everyone gets the same thing. So the first thing to point out is for those of you who have used Inventor before, you no longer have to choose between Inventor and Inventor Professional. Now you get with the FEA capabilities, you get the tube and pipe capabilities and electrical capabilities. And along with the electrical, the 3D wire harnessing, then it also connects with AutoCAD electrical, which gives you the 2D design. So there was a lot of customers in the past that I talked to, and they say, well, we want to dive into that. It'd be a nice to have, but we're not going to switch seats or buy a whole new seat for that. Well, now the good thing is you don't have to think about it, right? You get it with the collection already. On top of that, some of the things I have highlighted here, AutoCAD. A lot of you still rely on AutoCAD, of course, whether it's to open up legacy things or for new things. And another really great benefit to going with the collection now is the factory design utility. So previously there used to be a factory design suite. Now you don't have to go that route. You can get all the same tools you had before and also have factory. Well, the people that this is going to probably benefit the most, for those of you that are on the call, would be that if you ever dabbled or wanted to say, maybe you just had one person or a couple times a year you had to look at the layout of a facility, you don't have to wonder, well, do I need to switch to another suite? Do I need to, buy additional software? Well, now you get AutoCAD architecture and factory design utilities right inside of it. That way, at any point throughout the year, you can assign any of your engineers to work on the facility layout, for example. So you have a lot more benefits for a lot less cost now. And we're going to go over those examples, what those costs look like towards the end of this session. Now, for those of you in the architecture and civil industry, what we have now is we've combined them both into AEC, Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Collection. Some of the other things you see highlighted here as well, you get other AutoCAD versions as well, such as electrical. You also get InfraWorks, which allows you to be able to look at Google Maps basically and use building information from there, or enter your information into InfraWorks for road design or buildings, for example, and be able to collaborate and get a much better visualization of what it's going to look like. Very powerful tools. Another thing I'll mention is, if you ever wanted to do structural analysis for Revit, most people you have to go with the building design suite Ultimate. And Ultimate is the one that had the structural analysis for Revit. So now, again, you don't have to move up or anything like that or move down. You don't have to worry about it. It comes all inside of the collection. So these are some of the highlights. Of course, you see the full list of all the different components that you get with this collection now that's been combined between building and infrastructure.
So then how do you actually switch to one of these industry collections, and what is the eligibility to be able to do that? If you've purchased an annual or multi-year subscription to the suites, as I mentioned before, in terms of the design suites or the individual products such as AutoCAD, Revit, Civil, you can switch to an industry collection. If you're on a quarterly or a monthly subscription to those products, you actually can subscribe after your current term does expire. If you're on a perpetual license with a maintenance plan or without a maintenance plan, that is not eligible. You do need to renew that maintenance, and then you can actually, or you can subscribe to those new collections, but you cannot do the switch. The other availability that is currently not available would be the switching from networking to standalone and vice versa.
Now let's go into an example here. We'll do one for manufacturing, doing a suite, and then looking at if you were maybe more interested in being, if you use Revit or Civil 3D for your designs. So the first one, manufacturing. So if you're watching this and you're on Product Design Suite Premium, for example, subscription, you can switch to a Product Design Collection, and that's a free switch. So there's no additional cost to switch from premium subscription to Product Design Collection. And the added value you're going to get for that is you're going to be able to do the layout of your factory and do clash detection, be able to do electrical 2D and wire harness design in 3D, as well as do FEA analysis within Dimension Professional. So I thought I'd just hit three big key things that I think would help a lot of customers and should be much more beneficial to you than just using some of the suite products, because you didn't have those with you, or you had to decide to move up. Now you can get it all within the Product Design Collection, and it's free to switch. Just a little bit more on this as well is we wanted to do a little price breakdown as well. So the subscription annual cost for Product Design Premium today is $2,310, but you'll see that just for a little bit more, once you do your switch, when it comes time to renew, your renewal will now be $2,460, which is very incrementally, a small incremental adjustment to that, right, to get a whole lot more. And now you don't have to think about trying to purchase software as a standalone. It'll come all within it. And for those of you that are Product Design Suite Ultimate, you'll see that actually the cost goes down for your renewal to be able to have all these additional benefits as well. So I wanted to make sure I touched both Premium and Ultimate. For Building Design Suite, Infrastructure Design Suite, it's actually fairly similar. And if you're interested in wanting to know your specific annual subscription renewal, what that will look like, of course, you can contact us after this if you'd like. The next example I want to go to is that there's a lot of folks on the call here today that have a standalone product. Standalone meaning just AutoCAD or just Revit, just Civil, just Inventor, just P&ID or just Plan. So any one of those can actually do a switch as well today to a collection, whether it's Product Design Collection or AEC Collection. So what you're going to be able to add to this is more than just what you have, of course. You'll have the entire collection. So if you're using AutoCAD today and you decided, well, I'd like to start using Revit at some point, it's the fee to switch to that starts at $975. It does depend where you're coming from, what you have exactly, but talk to us and be able to take advantage of this switch that we have today. You're going to add a whole lot more value for a very small cost. And what the annual subscription renewal will look like for you if you have one of these standalone products such as AutoCAD, Revit, or Civil 3D, you'll see is noted right here. So even if you were to purchase 2 of these as a standalone, you'll notice that the cost is already less.
Okay, so kind of in summary, we've gone through here in terms of how you can switch those subscriptions to gain value in the industry collections. Again, you can switch these subscriptions of the standalone or the designed suite. And if you currently switch now, we are offering a 25% off of the Inventor Update training. We know we want to make sure that our customers utilize the tools, and Inventor is a very common product to help, and so we'd like to make sure that you stay up and running with the latest options there.
Yeah, and so again, don't forget, what you add is so much more for such little cost, right? I mean, that's the whole thing behind doing a collection and doing subscription, is that now you can take advantage of much more at a lower cost for your entire team. So if you're switching from a suite, it's free to switch, and you'll get a whole lot more. If you're going from standalone, there is a small fee for that, but you do get a lot more. And just a reminder that if you have a standalone or multi-user, you don't switch between those. Those do stay still standalone or just multi-user. So we'll go ahead and open it up now to a Q&A, and feel free to type in your questions in the control panel for GoToMeeting there, and we'll be able to bring those up and take a look at that and answer those questions for you. All right, here we have a question from Jim, and he's saying, can I still access previous releases of software through the collection? So the answer is yes, and for those of you on the call who may have not realized this already, when you have a maintenance or a subscription of any of the products, you do have the ability to use 3 releases prior to the release you have right now. So right now, let's look at 2017. You would be able to use 2016, 2015, and 2014. So 3 years prior to the current release. And the same goes for collections. You will still have the ability to use previous versions of that software if you need to. All right, we have another question here from Eric. Says, do I need to switch all my seats in my subscription? Okay, so it sounds like maybe you have some seats that are that you prefer not to change the collection. Maybe some you want to leave as suites, or some you want to leave as standalone. So yes, you can do just a subset if you want to. You don't have to switch all your seats as part of your contract. You can only switch the ones that make sense for you. Okay, we have another question here from Mike. If I switch, what happens to my existing serial number? All right, so if you do make a switch to the collection, you will get a brand new subscription serial number. So you'll have to log into the subscription center and then assign them accordingly, of course. So you won't have to give serial numbers to your users anymore. That's the way the subscriptions work now. But you can still do it that way. And if you have multi-user, by the way, if you have a network seat, basically, you will have to get a new license file for those folks that you decide to switch to collections. So we do have a question here from Dominic. One last question, it looks like. He's asking, what's the disadvantage of switching? Honestly, I don't see a disadvantage of it because you get more software actually and less cost. The only thing I would say is if you're going from premium suite to a collection, it is a little more expensive. I think the difference was like $140 for your annual subscription. That would probably be a disadvantage, I suppose. But again, you're getting a whole lot more for that small increase in price annually. Mm-hmm. Do you agree, Janine?
I do. The benefits will definitely outweigh the costs.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on Ultimate, not only are you still getting all that same software and more, you will also bring down the annual renewal price. Okay, those are the only questions I see coming in here. So we'll wrap this up by saying, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you see that there's so much more value in switching to the collection. You can save yourself some money and get a lot more product. And be able to, have users use the tools that they need when they need them, right? Instead of having to wonder or having to sacrifice going from one suite to another or anything like that. I think they've really simplified it. It's gotten a lot better now. And also, when you download the software, you're able to download only what you need, right? You don't have to download a whole entire suite and take up a whole day downloading that. You can just download the products you need. So I think that's another great technical benefit you get from that.
Right. And in summary, again, we're here to help you in terms of any additional questions. If you have questions regarding the training, please go ahead and reach out to us with the update training to make sure that you get a fresh start to the new year with that. You can go ahead and contact anyone here on our team. Again, Jorge and we have the info@ketiv.com number here up for you as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to take advantage of our offer before the end of the year, 25% off on Inventor Update training as well. Look forward to seeing more of you get that training. All right, that's all we got for you today. If you have any more questions, feel free to email us, of course, and contact us, and we'll be happy to help you make the switch.
All right, thank you for your business.
Bye-bye, everybody.